In this question we've got a quadratic equation at the top. It's a quadratic equation because it's got an x squared and an x in it, an x squared, an x and a number. So the first thing to do is to try and factorise that quadratic equation, to try and put it into brackets. So we're starting with 5x squared plus 14x minus 3. We want to put that into brackets. It'll be two sets of brackets. Try and think first of all, what two things can you multiply together to give you 5x squared, which is 5 times x. The only real thing that'll be useful will be 5x and x. If you multiply those together, you will get 5x squared. Next, what numbers can you multiply together to get 3? The answers there are 1 and 3. Now we don't know whether the 1 goes there or here at the moment. But with those two numbers up there, we've got to times one of them by 5, because of this 5 here, and combine it with the other one to get 14. If you times the 1 by 5, you get 5. 5 and 3 don't give you 14. If you times this one by 5, the 3 times by 5 is 15. 15 and 1 you can get 14 from. So because we're timesing the 3 by 5, the 3 must go in the other bracket to the 5. It mustn't go in here. It's got to go in the bracket where the 5 isn't. So it's got to go here. So that later on when I multiply those together I will get 15x, and here I will get 1x. And I need a plus 15 and a minus 1 to give me my plus 14. So that is that quadratic there factorised. And to check, if you multiply these bits together, we're going to get 5x squared, 15x, take away 1x, which is a 14x. And from timesing those two bits together, we're going to get minus 3. Now we need to work on the bottom of the fraction, the x squared minus 9. This is a quadratic, but it's not a normal one because you've got an x squared bit, no x bit at all, and just a number bit. If you get one of these with a minus sign in the middle, you should be thinking the difference of two squares. The difference of two squares. Because you can write this as something squared, take away something squared. I haven't changed the value of anything here, I've just rewritten the 9 as something squared. And if you can spot that you can write something down as something squared, take away something squared, you can always then write that in two sets of brackets. The two bits go in both brackets, like that. The x goes in both, the 3 goes in both. In one of the brackets you put a plus, and one you put a minus. That's what you do with the difference of two squares. To check it, if I times those two bits together, I'm going to get x squared. I want that. Here I'm going to get plus 3x. Here I'm going to get minus 3x, which will cancel each other out. No x bits, that's what I want. And here the plus 3 and the minus 3 give you minus 9. So what I've got now is I've rewritten the top and the bottom. So the top I rewrote as 5x minus 1 times by x plus 3. That is that line there. The bottom I rewrote like this. X plus 3, x minus 3. So my fraction now becomes this here. And if it's a fraction, you're trying to cancel things down. Well, there's an x plus 3 on the top and there's an x plus 3 on the bottom. So they simply cancel out. And all you're left with on the top of your fraction is 5x minus 1. And on the bottom of your fraction is x minus 3. And that's your final answer to that question.